Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Tuesday. I am your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go in and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to talk about tonight, but before we get into that, if you have not hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the share button yet, go in and do so. We are at 589 subscribers, trying to get to that main goal of 611 away from that main goal. Also, make sure that you go on and hit the share button. Share with all of the people that you know. And make sure when you share it to them, you go on and make sure that they go and hit the subscribe button and share it themselves. Because if they just come on and view, and don't go on and hit the subscribe button or anything like that, they'd be watching, which I obviously do appreciate. But they're not going on and hitting the like button or the subscribe button or anything like that. And so it's free. It takes like 2 minutes to do. Now, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about just our weather for currently, right now. Also, just for the weather for tonight in general. We're going to talk about the tropics, even though it's not a lot. We're going to talk about a minimal flood threat, not a lot. And for the most part, it's going to start stabilizing. Our atmosphere is going to start stabilizing as well. And so it's going to be a pretty normal, not really too active weather update tonight. I'm just going to let you know about that right now. And so starting off, what's going on right now as we speak? Well, throughout the state of South Carolina, we do, in fact, have some rainfall going on throughout the upstate. That is relatively isolated. You're not seeing anything too bad right now over here near the Sumter National Forest, near Westminster, also near Central Clemson, and near Easley, South Carolina. Now, what about the entire U.S.? You do, in fact, have some rainfall going on right now, whether it be through Georgia, through Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, just shower activity. Minnesota getting some of that rainfall, as well as North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, even going into Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, and even New Mexico. You also do have some rainfall going on in Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, and Nevada. So we have a lot of stuff going on. But for the most part, it's relatively on the less active side. Current cloud cover right now, we do in fact have some cloud cover going on throughout the state, especially throughout the upstate and as well as the Grand Strand and the PD area. You also do have some cloud cover going on in the southern Midlands as well as the Low Country. And as you go into our cloud cover for the future, I said this morning that cloud cover was going to indeed go away and not be as widespread, and it seems like that it still kind of remains like that. As you go into tomorrow for our Wednesday morning, cloud cover for the most part stays up there in the upstate, tries to get a little bit more into like the low country and the coastal areas, even as you go into later tomorrow afternoon. So it does look to get a little bit more cloudier, but it's not going to be as widespread as when Imelda was passing us and bringing us that cloud cover. Current temperatures right now, you have around 71 in Columbia as well as 71 in Orangeburg, 72 in Somerville as well as 70 in Sumter, 72 in Charleston, and even 70 in Georgetown, 71 in Murrells Inlet as well as 71 in Myrtle Beach, 71 in North Myrtle Beach, 74 Beaufort, 75 in Hilton Head, and even around 68 in Greenwood and Newberry and Greenville, and Spartanburg, and Gaffney, and York, and Rock Hill, and Lancaster, all 68 degrees right now. So 70 inside of Clemson as well as 69 in Anderson. Low temperatures for tonight, you have around 64 in Greenville, 63 in Spartanburg, as well as 63 in Rock Hill, 62 in Columbia, as well as 63 in Orangeburg, 61 in Barnwell, and 61 in Walterboro, 66 in Charleston, and 68 in Hilton Head Island. We even have around 63 in Moncks Corner, 63 in Georgetown, even 65 in Myrtle Beach, 62 inside of Aiken. And we haven't seen this in a good little bit. No precipitation is expected throughout the entire state of South Carolina. Again, no precipitation is expected at this time. So, this is definitely a map that we have not seen in a hot minute. And definitely, even though there is a drought going on right now, definitely still do need the rainfall. It's nice to get a little bit of a dry little period here, but definitely still do need the rainfall. Now, what about our crazy score? We're at a 17 for tonight inside the mild category. Inside the mild category. Why are we inside the mild category, you may ask? There still are some lingering light showers going on, as you saw earlier, but it's going to be cool and humid, and maybe some fog possible, especially like in the mountains, mountain valley fog with visibilities around 1 to 5 miles. SPC outlook for tonight: no thunderstorms are expected tonight, no thunderstorms are expected tomorrow, and no thunderstorms are expected on Thursday. And if we even go on to excessive rainfall, isolated flash flooding is possible on day 5, which day 5, that is indeed on Saturday. So, Saturday, some isolated flash flooding is possible down here near Port Royal, Bluffton, Hilton Head Island, but just isolated. Nothing too widespread or anything like that. Only a 5%. So low, but it's there. Now, what about the models? Models doesn't really show much. If you go on and push this forward, you can see, as we move through the nighttime hours, you might have like a little stray shower maybe trying to push through, rather be in the low country, rather be inside of the upstate. And like we just saw with the map earlier, you might be asking, well, I thought you just said no precipitation was expected. That's with accumulation. So these showers may pass by, but they might not bring any accumulation in terms of 1/100 of an inch. So you can kind of select these areas right here, but for the most part, you're not really seeing too much. Even as you go to around 8, 9, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. even, you can see some green spots, but they're too light to be shown on that map just because it's way too little of rainfall. Now, tomorrow morning that might change, and we'll see what happens there, but for now, that's what it looks like. Even as we go into further into the future, look as we get into like the next 48 hours, no precipitation. Again, we just ended off right here. This is October the 1st at 2 p.m. Continue to push this forward. Look at this. Rainfall is indeed staying off to our coast, staying just away from the state in general. And so I will say, it looks like a dry period is coming back. Even if we go into the long-term future, as we go all the way into the 3rd, the 4th, yes, you do have some coastal activity, it seems, especially near the Atlantic areas, and even near October the 5th, October the 6th, maybe even the 7th, but you're not seeing too much inland until you get to around like October the 9th, finally, and you finally get some rainfall, but it's still not a lot. October the 11th comes along, it brings in possibly a little cold front here, so seems like if we go in and actually look at these temperatures, it will drop the temperatures down as we go into around October the 11th. So we will have, some cool times before that for the most part. But like we talked about yesterday, it's going to be just these cool pockets. So it's not really going to be a cooler than average time frame. You're just going to have these cool days to where it could potentially be cooler than average. And so it looks like that we really start to get an actual cool period starting at around like October, like the 11th and the 12th. And look at all this cool air going to the 14th, the 15th, the 16th. Now that's 300 hours out, so that can change. But for the most part, it's looking like for our cool weather fans, I'm going into mid-month of October, so a bit more than a week from now, about close to 2 weeks from now, definitely we'll be looking for some cooler than average weather. But back to the precipitation, though. Cold front passes by, bring us some cooler, drier air going into around like October the 11th. And then as you move even into October the 15th and the 16th, look at this. Nice and dry. Nice and dry as we go all the way into October the 16th. So enjoy this dry period, but the drought conditions still on go. And that's not a good sign at all. I just saw a post somewhere earlier that said that pretty much all throughout the southeast, we receive 2 to 4 inches less of rainfall. Now, the forecast at the beginning of the month of September, I can't remember, that was, again, obviously a month ago. And speaking of, tomorrow night, make sure that you're there because we will be doing the October forecast tomorrow night. So make sure that you're there for that. But for the most part, it seems that we've received around 2 to 4 inches less of rainfall than what we were expecting as we go throughout the month of September, just on average in general. So September definitely was a below average month in terms of precipitation. And that reflects here on this map well, as we have areas of droughts going on throughout the state. Even if you go on and look at this model right here, you go on and check out how much rainfall is on this run right here. I mean, you're seeing probably around like a half to maybe even an inch max. And that's about all as you go through like the next 15 days. That's not good at all. And even if you go into the WPC and we go throughout like the next 7 days, this one's a bit more of a different story. That one that I just showed you, that was one model run right here. But look at this one. This one has a bit more of a higher, more better scenario. It brings around a good 1 to 2 inches of rainfall all the way from the southern Midlands toward like the Grand Strand over into the Low Country area, especially near this coastal area right here near Charleston, Hilton Island, and Beaufort, to where around like a good 2 inches of rainfall could occur. So it's possible. It's possible that this could be the scenario that happens. This is the official forecast, but definitely a lot different, very much different than what we just saw in the actual models themselves. But now that that's out the way, let's go on and talk about the tropics. We have Humberto out here. Humberto, which obviously was the first storm that formed. That's why we talk about it first. It's an 80-mile-per-hour storm. It's definitely weakening as it is out of major hurricane status. Dangerous marine conditions, including high surf and life-threatening rip currents, will continue to affect beaches of the Northern Caribbean, Bahamas, Bermuda, and much of the east coast of the United States through the week. And that's it. I mean, yes, we still do have the rip current risk as you go through tonight and as you go through tomorrow. Tomorrow, high risk of rip currents is here for the entire coastal area of South Carolina. So if you're going to any beaches tomorrow, watch out for rip currents for sure. And if you even go to Imelda, it's an 85-mile-per-hour storm. Imelda is actually stronger than Humberto now. Imelda is expected to bring damaging hurricane-force winds to Bermuda when it passes near or over that island by Wednesday afternoon or evening, so tomorrow. A hurricane warning is in effect for Bermuda, and Imelda is likely to cause large and damaging waves also in Bermuda. Heavy rainfall could cause flash flooding across Bermuda Wednesday and Thursday, and then swells and high surf from both Humberto and Imelda are expected to produce dangerous marine conditions to much of the east coast of the United States during the next several days. And after that, that's really all that we have for the tropics. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Let's go on and pull it up. Mr. Chris is first. Says, good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great day. Please remember to go on and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. He is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. We've had 11 people tune in so far tonight, and we only have, get this, 11 people, and we only have 5 likes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But if you are a part of that 6 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. And I actually believe if I go on and count right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 people inside the chat right now that actually commented, but yet we only have 5 likes. So, again, if you're a part of that 5 now, go and hit the like button. My Aunt Lula comes in and says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris says it didn't start clearing until around 5 p.m. Honestly, I don't remember exactly when it started clearing at my house. I know that it did start to, I believe it started to sprinkle a little bit. It was either while I was on the way home or when I was actually at home. But it was sprinkling a little bit. It was doing some stuff. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My Aunt Lula comes in again and says, cloudy day in Georgetown today. Was the same thing over at my house as well. Pretty much throughout the entire state it was. My Nana says, hello, Jay. I only had a few drops of rain today. That made for a good day. That's great to hear. Hello to you. Mr. Chris comes in again and says, wow, it's going to be cool tonight. It will. For sure be cool. Definitely inside of the 60s for tonight. And even cool tomorrow morning as well. But we've been kind of getting into those cool mornings more recently. My cousin Cheryl comes in and says, good evening, meteorologist Peterson. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a pleasant day. So proud of you, Weatherman. Keep up the good work. God has good things in store for you. Love you, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for tuning into us, obviously, while you probably are at work right now. And then Trail comes in and says, greetings, everyone, greetings to you. And so that's it for the chat for tonight. You still have time if you want to go in and type something into the chat. You just have to obviously be a subscriber of the channel. If you're not a subscriber of the channel, you will not be able to type because it is in subscriber only. Now, for San Antonio, Raleigh, Philadelphia, and Duncan, Oklahoma, if you have no idea why we talk about those locations, because we have people from those locations who tune in every or almost every single night. So, starting off with San Antonio first, you have low temperatures tonight at 70, high temperatures tomorrow at 95, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 71. No precipitation is expected at this time, no severe weather is expected at this time, and no excessive rainfall is expected at this time. Raleigh, you have low temperatures tonight at 65, high temperatures tomorrow at 77, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 53. No precipitation is expected, even though you do have seems to be almost like some isolated shower activity kind of around you right now, especially in that southeastern side near Garner, North Carolina, and Knightsdale, North Carolina. But other than that, no precipitation is expected. No severe weather, no excessive rainfall, nothing like that. In Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 56, high temperatures tomorrow at 70, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 50. No precipitation is expected at this time, no severe weather is expected at this time, and no excessive rainfall is either. And for the final location, low temperatures tonight is in Duncan at 62, high temperatures tomorrow at 88, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 63. No precipitation is expected at this time, and no excessive rainfall / severe weather is expected at this time as well. And so that wraps that up. I had a lot of extra time on my hands. That's why I already had that entire thing pretty much already memorized, because I had a lot of time before I came in for the live stream for tonight. So that's why I went by in like 1 minute. But for the most part, what's going on throughout the entire U.S., swells and high surf, both from Imelda and Humberto, are expected to bring dangerous marine conditions and rip currents to much of the East Coast. Over the next several days, a series of Pacific frontal systems will bring waves of showers and thunderstorms to portions of Northern California and the Pacific Northwest through midweek. We do, in fact, have some coastal flood advisory that is in effect for portions of North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, and New Jersey. Some freeze watches are in effect for some freezing potentially going on in New York, and then even some freeze warnings for northern New Hampshire, and even some frost that will occur also in Maine and New Hampshire. And then even we have some, I believe that is some beach hazard statements going on up there in like the Great Lakes area, and then some wind advisories going on over here in the West in California, Oregon, and Nevada. I don't see anything else inside of the chat, so I'm going to assume that's all for them. Top fan for tonight, Mr. Chris at number 1, my Aunt Lula at number 2, and then my Nana is indeed at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be a subscriber to the channel, and you have to be active inside the chat and to be here early. That's all that I have. Make sure that you are here again tomorrow night, because we will have our October forecast for the month of October, obviously. And we also we'll just talk about, temperatures, precipitation, the first half of the month in terms of like in-depth models and what it looks like there. And then we might go a bit further, but I mean already half the month is around way more than 300 hours, so it doesn't really make too much sense to go all the way throughout the full month. All we can really look at is just trends and what's going to happen just as you go through, with averages and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow night, and hopefully everyone has a fantastic rest of your Tuesday evening. I will be back tomorrow morning with your Wednesday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and make sure to hit those 2 buttons.